Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam Berry, I'm known as the Gym Starter, and today I've got a really special workout to share with you. We're going to spend the entire workout sat down. I'm going to be in a chair, but the reason I'm going to be sat down is one of my clients, her name's Natalie, she is disabled, and we got into a little chat, and she said to me that there's not much content out there for wheelchair users in terms of fitness and how to work out if you are in a wheelchair. So I said to her, okay, well, let's put it together. Let's put a video together and let's do a workout for wheelchair users, which is what I've got for you today. Now the workout's going to be in two parts. We're going to do part one, which is this, and it's 6 exercises split up into basically 2 circuits, 3 exercises in each circuit. And we're going to do 10 reps of each exercise. Now don't worry, I'm going to write the entire format below, and then you can follow it at your own time and in your own at your own speed. This workout would also be very good for seniors if they don't feel too stable on their feet, or if you've got a foot injury and you want to keep a level of fitness up. It's going to be primarily upper body, and we're going to get to it like so. Now, the equipment that you're going to require will be 2 dumbbells and a resistance band. That's it. In terms of the weights that I want you to use for the dumbbells, I want you to work across the whole workout to an RPE of 6 to 8, maybe 7 to 8. Now what does that mean? RPE is known as your rate of perceived exertion, and it's a subjective scale that us in the fitness industry use to try and judge how hard a client is working over a particular set. And if you're working to an RPE, the higher the RPE you're working to, the more tiring an exercise is going to be, but also the more effective it will be, the higher intensity it is. And intensity is what we need to build muscle. So I'm going to be looking for you to try and get into the higher echelons. I don't need to do a 10. 10 is like you're dead on the floor and you can't do anymore. That's it, you're done. And 1 is you could do it all day. For this workout, I'd like you to try and push yourself to about here, to about 7, 8, 9. You'll get used to judging that yourself, but that's where we want you to be, an RPE of 7, 8, and 9. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through the exercises, and I'm going to show you how to do them, and then I'm going to let you go away and do the workout in your own time. I'm going to write the entire workout below in the comments, and if you have any questions about how to do any exercises that I haven't covered, then please feel free to ask me those questions. Right. So this is part 1 of today's workout. So we're going to start with an overhead press, and then we move that into bent over row, and then we're going to do a reverse fly. Okay, they're all quite shoulder dominant exercises. And as you can see, we're going to do 10 reps of each. I'm going to do that 3 times over. Then we move into the second phase of this first part of the workout, and we're going to do band pull aparts, tricep extensions, and bicep curls. And again, we're going to do 10 reps of each, 3 times over. And that's it. So let me start talking you through them. So first up is our overhead press. Grab your dumbbells. As I explained, there's no set weight for these. It's whatever you think you're going to be able to manage in order to get yourself to the RPE of 7, 8, or 9. I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 6s here, okay? And that's significant enough for me. So that might be an indicator as to where you're going to start. Bearing in mind, I'm not exactly a huge bulking PT of a man. So the overhead press, what I'd like you to do is in your wheelchair or on your seat, I'd like you to make sure that you're stable, that you're comfortable, but that you're trying to get yourself up out of your hips a little bit. And we're going to raise the dumbbells to about here. Now a lot of people, when they do an overhead press, they'll send their elbows right back or they'll bring them too far forward. We would prefer to not have either of those. We kind of want them to just be slightly forward. Let me turn around so you can see the angle I'm holding these at. About here is a really good angle for the overhead press. And that should ensure that you have not too much pressure in the shoulder as you go to lift. And it also means that you're going to be comfortable and in a strong enough position to do the lift. And then all we're going to do is squeeze in our core, which basically means squeeze the abs. If you can, it's great, just there. Squeeze them as hard as you can. And we're going to just raise the weights above our heads. Sometimes you'll hear a dink. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world if you do that. And then bring them back down to that starting position. We don't need to come back into here. I just want you to come back to here. I'm going to do that 10 times. And as you do that, I want you to do it at a pace of 1, 2, pause, 1, 2. 1, 2, pause, 1, 2. And at the top, we're doing what's called a lockout. I want you to focus on trying to get your trapezius muscles, which are these muscles that connect the shoulder to the neck. I want you to really try and squeeze those together when you're right at the top, and then you come back down. And then you go up again, and then back down. That's the overhead press. Next over, we're going to do the bent over row. So I'd like you to lean forward. Now, if you can, I'd like you to try and bring yourself forward with as straight a back as possible. Now, that's not easy for everybody. Some people will naturally have to go into this position with a slightly bent back. That's not optimal, but it's okay. At all points throughout this workout, I'm going to give you optimal form, and then you're going to figure out when you go to do it how close you are to getting to that optimal form. Now, provided you don't lift very, very heavy weights, being in suboptimal form shouldn't be a problem. But let me tell you this, if you experience any pain at any point during this workout, then you must stop doing that exercise and just substitute it in for something else. Okay? Forget the term no pain, no gain. It doesn't exist. All right? What I want you to do is, if you're in pain, that's your body saying, I don't belong in this position. Get me out of it. Get me out of it. So don't force it through it. Okay? You can find a different exercise to work the same muscle group, or you can just repeat an exercise you know works well for you. No exercise should be more important than your body not being in pain. So, back to our bent over row. So you're going to just lean forward as best you can, and then all we're going to do is lift in the triceps and the back. We come to here. Lift the triceps, and as you're doing that, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together as much as you can. So lift the elbows back, and you're going to push the chest forward. And we're going to have 10 reps of that. Like so. Really crease those hips, and you're going to want to make sure that you're presenting that chest as well forward as you can, and we lift to an angle like that. That's your bent over row. And then we're going to do bent over or reverse flies. So we're going to stay in that position, so it's quite awkward, and then with the weights we lean forward and we raise them like so. Slightly bent arms, and again we're focusing on the shoulder blades coming together. I'm going to hold a little squeeze here. Really focus on, imagine you've got a little apple here, right in between the shoulder blades. Little apple, and you're trying to squeeze it every time you do a rep. Like so. I personally find that one quite exhausting, so it might be an option for you to just take a bit of the weight down. If you found the other ones manageable but hard, you might want to reduce a bit of the weight on that exercise. And then all you're going to do is going to do all of those exercises for 10 reps 3 times over, before we then move on to the next part of the circuit. And that starts with band pull-aparts. Grab your resistance band, and I'd like you to have it face up, your palms face up like so. And then you're just going to clasp the band. Oh, let's get it even. Well, that's not the end of the world if it's not. And all you're going to do is open the band across the chest like so. So similar to the reverse flies, you're trying to squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then you come forward. Like so. And we're going to do 10 of them. Now you see a lot of people do these, and they'll hold them quite wide, and they'll open up, and there's no tension in anything they're doing at all. It's going to be subjective on how long your arms are, how strong you are, things like that, about how much you can open up. But make sure there's enough tension and that you're definitely finding a resistance as you do it. Remember, you're looking for an RPE of 6, 7, 8. Tricep extensions. Now what's next? Now you're going to grab a dumbbell for me, and I want you to hold it. I'll show you this grip closer up actually, because it's quite a hard one to know. You want to hold a dumbbell like so. Okay, so kind of forming a triangle like that, and then the dumbbell goes through the hands and you hold the plate in the palm of your hands like so. And all you're going to do, hold it above your head, and then keeping the elbows pointing forward, straighten the arms as best you can. See how little of my body I'm moving? And we're going to do 10 of those. So that's 10 band pull aparts, then 10 tricep extensions, and then we're going to do everybody's favorite, a bicep curl. So we'll be here, and we just lift up like so. 2, 3, 10 of these. With these, you want to make sure that you're not swinging backwards and forwards as you're trying to lift them. Keep your upper body as still as possible and try and keep your elbows pinned into your hips. And that's how you're going to get the most out of the bicep curl as you do it. If you're swinging your elbows out, moving your shoulders, swinging your upper body, it's going to be far less effective for you than if you try and keep everything nice and strict and just very slowly and very methodically get through your 10 reps, keeping everything level, keeping everything as still as possible. And that's all you're going to do. So you're going to do those 3 exercises 10 times each, so 10 reps, and you're going to go through that 3 times. And that's part 1 of today's circuit. Now on to part 2. So now part 2 of the circuit. Nice and straightforward, it's exactly the same format. We've just got slightly different exercises to work on. We've got to keep it dynamic for you now, don't we? So, this time, we're going to do these. Have a little look. Let me hold it a bit closer so you can see it. So we're going to start with lateral raises. Then we're going to do clockwise circles. Then we're going to do anti-clockwise circles. And then we move on to our finisher, which will be Russian twists, an upward stretch, and then some halos. Again, all you need is the same equipment, dumbbells and a resistance band in order to get these done. So let me talk you through them. So a lateral raise. Again, working the shoulders and the upper back. We're really looking to move the shoulder blades. And we're going to move with a slightly bent arm, and we're going to raise to this position. Again, we want to try and get up out of our hips, engaging our core stability as best we can. And you're going to start down here. I'm coming up like so. And that's our lateral raise. You'll probably find the weight for that will be similar to the weight you needed for the reverse flies in the last one, because they're very similar exercises. Again, we're looking for that RPE hitting 6, 7, 8, going up towards the end scale of our RPE. So we're going to do 10 lateral raises, then we're going to do 10 clockwise circles. This is something we used to do at drama school a lot in order to build our posture, to keep our core engaged, and to make sure our shoulder blades just sat nice and low in our body. So you're going to get your hands out like this, palms as upright as you can, facing parallel to the walls. And all you're going to do is 10 really small clockwise circles. 8, 9, 10. And then you're going to go straight into anti-clockwise. Like so. And that's all you have to do. What I would say with that is make sure you really stretch yourself out as much as you can, but try not to point your fingers that way. Try and work to get your palms up like so. And you should feel that. Just pull your shoulder blades right in and down through that back, which is exactly where we want those to be. So that's part 1 of part 2 of this workout. Let me take you through those again. So it's lateral raise. Like so. Again, with those, we're going to want a slightly bent arm as you raise up, and make sure our shoulders don't raise up like so. We're trying to keep everything back and down. Think back and down. The whole time you're doing this workout, think shoulder blades back and down, back and down, back and down. And then we're going to do 10 clockwise circles, and then 10 anti-clockwise circles. Perfect. And now on to the next part. I hope you're excited. I am. We're going to do a Russian twist. So I want you to take your dumbbell, and we're going to hold it, and we're going to come down to here like so. So we're rotating sideways, and then we're going to come over, and that's 1 rep. So each side, so every 2 movements, A equals 1 rep. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and there we're trying to rotate the core as best we can with the weight to just add a little bit of an extra twist in as we come down and up. If you can't twist all the way around, if you don't have that kind of spinal mobility, not to worry, we can totally just bring it here and we can just do it like so, almost like we're canoeing. Okay, and then over time, we hope that we manage to increase that flexibility as we go around. And then we're going to do an upward stretch, so grab your resistance band, and again to engage the core, all we're going to do is we're just going to come up and open as wide as we can, and then back down. 1. Up, open, as wide as we can. 2. Make sure the tension's nice and high in this one. Open, as high as we can. 3. And you're going to do 10 of those. Okay? I'm not going all the way back and down. You can if you want to, if you prefer that. Let me show you what that looks like. If you just come to here, and then go all the way back and down, and all the way back over. That's perfectly acceptable if you want to do that. And then we're going to finish with 10 halos. Grab your dumbbell. You've got to be quite careful with this one. You know the tricep extension we did in part 1? I want you to hold the dumbbell in exactly the same manner. And all we're going to do is rotate the dumbbell around the head. And we're doing 10 of these. So what we want to do is we want to do 5 in each direction. 4, 5, and then rotate. Like so. And relax. And away we go. I often find doing halos is easier with a kettlebell, if you have a kettlebell. But again, we don't need the weight to be high. We need, because we're really working on that shoulder flexibility and that shoulder movement. So we don't want it to be very heavy. We just want you to just be able to get your arms around and get them used to moving in that circular motion above your head. And if you're not comfortable doing it with a weight, that's totally fine. All you have to do is just get your hands like so, put them into a fist, clasp them together, and rotate them around. A movement like this is so good for the shoulder flexibility, and obviously if you're going to be doing a lot of movement with the arms, then we're going to need to make sure our shoulders stay supple and flexible at all times. And that's it. That's my workout for wheelchair users and for anyone else who struggles to obviously be on their feet when they're working out for balance issues or anything else like that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative, and I hope you really enjoyed doing the workout. If you do the workout, please remember to take a video of it, maybe do a time lapse of it, put it onto Instagram or Facebook and tag me in it. I'd love to see everyone working out on it and see how you're finding it all. And if you have any questions at all, then please put them below in the comments on this video. That's it from me. Peace, love and protein. High fives and positive vibes.